Yo, yo, hip hop heist, man. What up? We back at it with another reaction. Jake Paul reacts to John Jones requesting UFC release and warns Dana White, we're competitors. Shout out to Fight Hype with the clip. This Hip Hop Heist TV. Let's get right to it, man.
You guys had a short conversation about
it. 100%. I think Ronda would be a great help to promote MVP and MMA and to bring in a lot of fighters and help us do big events. And we're very excited for this one. We know it's going to do extremely well, especially with Francis and Felipe. And we got some amazing other fights being negotiated right now. So I see a future where Ronda's a part of it and helping us grow.
How pressed do you think the UFC feels by you guys right now, and the energy and momentum you guys look like you're about to have, and particularly Dana? Do you feel like there's, he feels the way?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not really sure, and we don't really think about
Hey,
that.
but bro got them cold. Are those Kobe's in the back? He got them cold Nikes
on a daily basis. We're just focused on fighters first and making as big of events as possible and disrupting the space. But I guess, yes, at the end of the day, we are competitors to the UFC now and Zuffa boxing. So they're going to be competitive and we're going to be competitive.
And would you fight Ngannou for real, though? I mean, it sounds like you guys, he in boxing. In boxing? Yeah, no, because we want to know if you want to get into 100%. MMA too.
No, I'll do MMA at some point. My first fight would probably have to be against someone my own weight. But I think I've made it clear in the sport of boxing that I'm down to fight anyone, right? I took on 100%. Anthony Joshua, Mike Tyson, Chavez, like just all these people. Anderson Silva, like I'm really down to run it with whoever in the sport of boxing. And I think me versus Francis would be massive.
Talk about the space and what you're jumping into, disrupting. What does the space of mixed martial arts look like right now?
I think it's actually more ripe for disruption than boxing. In boxing, you have an ecosystem of all these phenomenal promoters that have existing fight rosters, history, and legacy that is meaningful to the sport. UFC's done a tremendous job of becoming the reference brand for the sport, but they haven't kept up with that brand in terms of how it treats athletes and fighters. So I think if someone came in and actually showed a path for fighters, really valued them personally.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, UFC got so big that they lost touch with the fighter. We hear it all the time, like fighter pay. And I guess they barely start giving them like super healthy meals, full meals all week, I believe, instead of just like for a day or two. Excuse me. I'm not 100% sure on that. I can't remember where I seen that clip, but yeah, it's just, we just seen Ronda Rousey last video talking about fighter pay too, and so I think this dude is right. This is the partner for the MVP promotions. Jake Paul's partner, Nikisa, I believe his name is. But yeah, let's finish out what he has to say, and we'll keep it going.
Have the right distribution partner, which is a critical component. Then there's an opportunity for a true number two in the marketplace.
Francis talked a lot about the importance of being an independent contractor. He mentioned that multiple times. Are you treating the fighters that you're working with as independent contractors? Are they on one-fight deals, or can they leave as they please? What's the relationship with them?
So from an MMA perspective, this is our first event. It's similar to when we did boxing with Jake on Netflix. The question is there more with Netflix and MMA? My answer and his answer, I think, is the same. If this does well, we're 100%
Jake, tell me about your deal with ESPN. That's massive.
Yeah, MVPW, bringing boxing back to ESPN, which is historic in and of itself, but really giving women a massive platform and a schedule of events. And we obviously have the biggest and best roster of women's fighters, and so it's just going to be really exciting to see the best go against the best, and ultimately the fans are going to win because of this deal.
You have a lot of options for fights. What do you think? I've been spending a lot of time with Blueface, and he's hot right now. What do you think about you and Blueface in the ring? He has 2 fights coming up.
He's not very good. I'll respect him, but yeah.
Can you guys elaborate on how you establish yourselves as a viable number two? And I say that in the sense that the UFC obviously is a
Hey, that would be a good fight. I think people would tune in for sure. Blueface and Jake Paul. That kind of makes sense out here. So although Jake Paul definitely probably would wash him, you'd have to give Blueface a couple warm-up fights. You get what I'm saying? Because Jake Paul has definitely been in the ring. We can't lie about that at this point. He trains, so yeah.
There's a lot of gripes from fans about not getting the fights that they want, etc., etc. How do you guys make sure you don't necessarily fall into that same pit trap? Maybe you guys are running the right amount of events with the right big name fighters to make a natural structure.
Yeah, look, we're focused on this event right now, right? So when I spoke to about a viable number two, it doesn't mean it's necessarily us, but I think there is that opportunity with the right structure, with the right front person like Ronda, who is as passionate as she is, it can be achieved much more effectively than it can be in boxing. That's it.
Can you answer about the UFC being too much of a quantity business and how it's watered down? Watered down is a term that gets talked a lot about with the UFC these days. Do you feel that the product's watered down?
Yeah, no, I think it's been tough for them to create stars in the fights that they want for how little they're willing to spend. So they're kind of at a bottleneck, and that's why I think we've seen fights that people aren't super excited about, and the biggest stars in the sport like John Jones and Conor McGregor fighting on a consistent basis. And that was what made them so great in the beginning of their business, was just massive, amazing fights all the time, and now they're just not willing to spend money.
Do you understand the sentiment of the White House card being a letdown, or do you understand how the White House itself will be the star of that show?
Yeah, no, I think the White House itself will be the star. I was disappointed by the card. I think many fans were, just because there was such high expectations. I think if they weren't hyping it for so long, then maybe if they just announced it randomly, then people would be happy. But they just made it seem like it was going to be the greatest card of all time. It certainly isn't.
When you show up,
That's a fact, man. I feel like the hype on the White House card was crazy compared to when they released the fight card. Like it just doesn't make sense. Now Dana did mention that there was a fight that fell through. People are speculating it's John Jones versus Alex Pereira, but I guess we'll never know, until they let us know. But right now that is not confirmed. So yeah, let's keep it going though. This Hip Hop Heist TV. Shout out to Fight Hype for the clip. Yeah, man. Thank you for following along, man. It's Hip Hop Heist TV. Hit that like and subscribe. And yeah, man. Another one down. Another one to go. So let's keep it rocking, man. Be happy, be healthy. Do what you got to do to survive, like Pac said. Also be of service, man. That's why we here. So let's get it, man. Peace.